Go Chundria, Chundria, it's Chundria Show.
Get to know KG Smooth. He's an incredible radio personality at Houston's Majic 102.1. Every Friday, you can catch KG Smooth on Season 3 of OWN's hit reality series, Ready to Love.
I am excited to feature
Good.
Green, aka KG Smooth, on the Chundria Show today. If you've been watching Season 3 of Ready to Love, you know who this is. Chris Green, aka KG Smooth, welcome to the Chundria Show. How are you?
I'm doing well, Chundria. Thank you for having me on your show. I love that backdrop over there.
Thank you so much. Now, you graced the airwaves of Houston on Majic 102.1. How did you get your start in radio?
I got my start in radio. Radio was something I always wanted to do since I was in elementary school. And at the time I was in college, I was working at K&G Men's Mart. And my coworker's girlfriend who worked at the station came in to bring him some lunch. And I was like, hey, radio's something I always want to do. Are y'all hiring? She was like, we are. Call the program director. So I called him that Monday. I called him that Monday, left him a message. He called me back, left me a message. I called him back. We talked. I came in. He asked me to come in the next day for an interview. I did. And I was hired on the spot. And 2 weeks later, I was on the air. Now, the weekend that I found out that I was going to be cracking the mic for the first time, that's what they call when we, talk on the radio for those who don't know the lingo. I see my name by myself on the schedule, and my friend and my program director here now, Terry Thomas, we were working at that station together. She was on there. She comes out the studio, and she was like, yeah, player, you ready? And I was like, what? Like, is this real? So I go down to my PD's office and I'm like, yo, like, is this for real? I see my name is by myself. My name is a standalone on the schedule. He's like, yeah, man, you ready? I was like, and then Terry peeked her head in and she said, yeah, it's so funny because, Hurricane kept calling your house and playing your voicemail greeting, talking about, listen at this kid, he's got great pipes. And I was like, that's why you hired me? Like, off of my voicemail greeting? Off of my voicemail greeting. And I was talking over the intro to Erykah Badu's Didn't You Know?
Oh.
And, yeah, and that's how I got in the radio, off of my voicemail greeting.
That was your demo?
That was my, yeah.
That is so.
And you know how we used to do back in the early, well,
yeah,
I don't know.
I do know.
Yeah, you're young. Back in the old days, in the 2000s, we used to talk sexy over the intro to a song for our voicemail. That was a thing. It would be an R&B. Well, it wouldn't be an R&B slow jam. Like, people talked over all kind of beats.
But usually a slow jam.
It was usually, yeah.
So you grew up in the Midwest. I'm originally from Chicago, so shout out.
Hey, I've got family in Chicago that I don't know about. Me and my brothers, we trying to connect those dots and find that out. So yeah.
Family tree together. Come on to Chicago. So did growing up in the Midwest prepare you for your career in any way?
Yeah, absolutely. Musically, because I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and Dayton is the birthplace of funk music, and so that Ohio funk sound was so instrumental in the sound that we have today. Hell, we wouldn't have, the West Coast wouldn't have the sound it has if it wasn't for Ohio funk, Midwest funk. So living in the Midwest, it made me very musically inclined, and my father was a musician, and I grew up in the church, and my mama directed the choir, so it prepared me musically for radio.
So now you have that ear for music, that eye for music.
Oh, absolutely. Always had an ear for music and an eye for it. And then I create as well. I like to sing and vocal arrange and write and produce and things like that. But yeah, absolutely have an eye. That's why I am so not hung up on, but like I ride for Beyonce because the very first time I saw her, I saw that No 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 video on BET. It was like a Tuesday afternoon. I remember whatever their programming was, and I saw that video, and I was like, yo, I was like, this lead singer, I was like, she's gonna be a problem when she get older. Like once she grow into her voice, like she's gonna be a problem. And so I was telling my best friend that, and I remember talking about it, because she was like, you seen that video with those girls with Wyclef? And I called Beyonce, and to look at her now, like I was like, I called her. I called it way back, my first time seeing them, my very first time seeing them. I was like, this girl here is gonna be a problem. And look at her, she's
got that talent scouting you as well.
I do, absolutely. I can pick a hit. I know I should have been in A&R. Like, and I thought that's a direction that I wanted to go. Like I thought I, wanted to be in A&R, because I can pick a song. I can listen to a project or an album and tell you the radio cuts, or tell you the ones that are going to be the slap or not.
So you've been in radio for 20 years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you attribute to that success?
November 25th.
Really? What? To the day?
November 25th, 2000 is the day that I got hired at 100.9 The Wiz in Cincinnati.
My goodness. So what do you attribute to 20 amazing years of radio?
I still love it. I'm still having fun, It's not really work. Like, that's why I tell all these young folks, like, find out what your passion is. Find out what it is that you would get up in the morning every day and do anyway, if you weren't getting paid. Find that and turn your passion into your paper. That way, it'll never feel like work.
So do you mentor a lot of radio students?
No, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's not like I'm not available, but I guess the opportunity I've never had. I got a handful. I got a few mentees, about 3 young brothers that reach out to me and whatnot, and lead the way, reach out for that or whatever.
The Chris Green Radio Academy hasn't opened its doors yet, but one day. Let's dive on in. As a radio personality, I'm curious to know, personally, as a fan of the show, what inspired you to be a part of season 3 of Ready to Love?
My listeners.
Your listeners?
They encouraged it. Like, so when I'm on the Quiet Storm at night, I jump on Majic's Facebook Live, and one night I was talking to them, and I was telling them how, these casting folks from the show Ready to Love, like, they've been reaching out to me, like, and they had reached out to me 3 times, and I said no. And so I'm telling them about that, and they were like, different
people contacting you, or was this one person who was just really?
No, it was 3 different casting people. It was 3 separate different people. Okay. 2 girls and a guy.
Now, who's the one that won you over? Was it the guy or the girl that won you over the last time?
I don't even remember who the last one was. It was just when I was telling my listeners about it, and I was like, they asked me 3 times. I said no. They were like, what? Like, no, do it. I was like, what? They was like, yeah, do it. Like, you're a great guy. You deserve, like, find love. But if anything, to raise your profile and the brand. No, this is my listeners telling me to raise the profile and the brand. And I was like, are y'all for real? And they were like, yeah, like, do the show. If you find love, great, but do it to raise your profile. And I was like, okay. And I get them back on Instagram, and within the hour, somebody called me, and I had my first phone interview.
And so they quiz you.
Here we are.
Here we are, watching you on TV live every single Friday.
Get to know Joy M Hutton. She's the dynamic founder of On the Go Glam, offering hair, makeup, and nail services on demand. She's also a cast member on season 3 of OWN's hit reality series, Ready to Love.
I'm ready when you are.
I am ready.
Okay. I'm most excited about my special guest. Joy M Hutton is on the show today. You can watch her now every Friday on season 3 of Ready to Love. My dear, welcome to the Chundria Show. How are you?
Hello. I am good. Thanks for having me.
You're looking good? You're feeling good?
I am for the most part, yes.
Ready to Love is in heavy rotation.
Yes.
Show just premiered just a few weeks ago, and so we are getting to know you on the show, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But let's go back. I just learned about your Chicago roots, which is my hometown as well.
Yeah.
How long have you lived there in Houston?
I have been in Houston for 9 years, so yeah, this is my second home.
Yes, it is. You spent 9 years somewhere. That's
but I'm still a Chicagoan. I was like, I'll never say I'm a Houstonian.
I'm from Chicago.
yes. I'm like, I live here. I just live here. That's it.
Okay, so season 3 is underway for Ready to Love. It's continuing to unfold. We're getting to know you and your interactions with the cast. I know we can't spoil anything, but I would love to know what motivated you to sign up for the show.
You know, I had several friends when they were casting in Houston sending me text messages saying, hey, they're casting for Ready to Love. And I was like, I don't even watch reality TV. Like, I'm like, not doing a reality show. Absolutely not. And so then I got contacted by like three different casting producers. And I was like, okay, I'll entertain a conversation with one of them. And so I had a conversation with a casting producer, and she got me. She convinced me that this is a good opportunity. And she's like, you know, I wouldn't recommend any other dating show to my friends except this one. She was like, it's classy, you know, she's like, watch it and see what you think. And, you know, I'm divorced. Obviously, I'm on a dating show, so I would have to be divorced. But I'm divorced, and so it's been almost 3 years. And so at this point, I was like, okay, I'm ready to be more open and see what happens. You know, I had zero expectations, and I was like, okay, I'm a very private person. So putting my life in front of TV like that gave me so much anxiety. And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it was just a risk that I took, you know, to be more open and to see what happened.
Well, now that you've done the show is over. We're watching it, the edited version, all live and in living color now. So, you know, what are the things that you've learned about yourself in this TV experience?
You know, I learned that I can deal with a million cameras in my face and still be me. Because, you know, when you think about it, you are just like, am I going to stare at the camera all the time? Am I going to be uncomfortable? But once I realized, like, that's what it's going to be, I and I was like, I'm just going to be myself. You know, that's all there is to it. And, you know, I realized that I'm not afraid of the camera and that I'm going to be myself by any means necessary, you know, not going to let the environment shape who I am and stick to really being true to myself. And I learned that I am open to love, you know, and that process, I mean, you're forced to meet people, you know, you're forced to be uncomfortable. And one of the things I said last year, I was doing a speaking engagement, and I said, I'm to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that was definitely something I challenged myself to do when I took on participating in the show, as being uncomfortable. So I definitely pushed myself outside of my comfort zone, and I challenged myself to the max. And so I'm glad that I did that. And it was a good experience. It was challenging being on a resort and not being able to go lay in your own bed at night for almost a month. And, you know, it's just crazy. So yeah.
You said the cameras were in your face. So, you know, what's really interesting to me is that you're trying to have these private, like almost intimate conversations.
Yes.
You're vulnerable. You're trying to be transparent. You're really trying to get to know someone. So, like, let's say you're talking to one person. Like, how many cameras are around you at any given time?
Yeah, it can be up to 5 cameras. And some cameras you don't see. I mean, they had cameras in the trees and the bushes.
But you know, like, right, you're always aware.
Right, you would look across the lawn. It might be 2 cameramen in front of your face, but then you look across the lawn and there's a cameraman like And I'm like, it's one over there. You know, so when you think you're not on camera, you are. You know, I mean, even at the resort, they had cameras in the hallway, so you saw some of the shots. So where there are cameras in the hallway, so if you sneaking out at night, you're gonna get caught.
It's easy to forget how many cameras are there, though, because
It is.
you know, I mean, I love how you all are able to get to know each other. I love how the women are able to bond. I love how the guys have had their little bromance going on.
Yeah.
You know, I just love how everybody's getting to know each other. Even when you're talking to nephew Tommy, like, I just love it, and it's so easy to forget. Like, no, it's not two people sitting there talking. There's like 7 people. Now I know there's 7 of them talking right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're able to hold your own and still step up 100% to be in this process.
Exactly. And it's easy for people to get lost, especially if you're trying to put on airs for the camera and what have you. But you know, at the end of the day, for me, I'm like, how you see me now is obviously how I was on the show. Like, there is no difference. That's who I am. And I'm like, I'm here for the purpose of this show and to be open and challenge myself to, you know, get outside of my comfort zone. So that's what I was focused on, and really getting to know people and make that connection.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to finish out the rest of the season and see everything goes. But we're going to switch gears. I would love to know, in your opinion, what's the secret sauce to finding love after divorce? For anybody watching who's gone through divorce, they're in your position,
I think, you know, the biggest thing is allowing yourself time to heal. You know, like I mentioned on the show the other day, like, therapy saves lives, and it does. You know, I don't believe in hopping from one relationship to the next. And because you don't allow yourself to heal from the previous relationship, and then you're bringing your baggage, they're bringing their baggage, and then it's just, those things are going to come out and you're going to repeat the same vicious cycle. So I think the biggest thing is allowing yourself to be alone, you know, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship or marriage. I had to allow myself to be alone. I had to allow myself to be single, because, you know, you want a companion, and dating is fine. But, you know, I'm at a place where, you know, I said, if we in a relationship, we gonna be married. You know, I don't need a boyfriend right now. You know, we gonna be together. So I just, at this age, I'm like, I'm taking that phase of my life seriously, because I've been there, done that. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. And so, but really, I think it's taking that time to heal and taking that time to reflect on your past experience and what you really, really want and don't want, and being realistic about it. It's not the check that checkbox list that we do when we're 25 and he gotta have this. No, really get to the bottom. Like, I need a man that's okay with therapy. You know, I didn't have that on my 25-year-old checklist, but now I do. And if you are not committed to your whole well-being, then we're gonna have a problem.
I love that you set intentions, you know, and then you're attracting someone who was just as intentional as you are, so that you won't waste your time. Like, I already know what I want, and I can identify what I'm not looking for, and I feel like we don't always do that in our 20s. So
absolutely. Well, I'm not in my 20s anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not either. So
right. I'm like, yeah, right.
Like you said, the change. You date differently. You're on the second date. Like, look, I'm trying to get married. So I know we just met, but I'm gonna stay my
right.
I get it.
And there's a way to not be so pushy about the things that you want when you are dating, because some people are like, well, listen, you want these kids, there's a way, you know, to have these conversations about what you want and set those expectations from the beginning, because I think people get caught up in that. And, you know, like some of the people on the show, even, you know, there's a time to ask those questions, but there's a way to ask them too, without seeming overly aggressive and pushy, because sometimes that will scare people away. But there are ways to have those conversations.
But these are great tips for anybody who is ready to love. I mean, whether you're on an amazing dating show on the Oprah Winfrey Network or meeting people on your own, these are great tips.
Right.
So aside from the show, you're the founder of a new beauty app that I'm so excited about. It's called On the Go Glam. What solutions does your business provide?
We provide beauty services for both men and women. So men can get their hair cut, get their facial grooming in order, manis and pedis, and hair, makeup, and nails for women as well. And essentially it's like Uber for beauty. Someone comes to you in the convenience of your home, hotel, or office.
What was your inspiration? Did you wish that you had these services one day?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually came up with this idea in 2016. So I've been working on this for a while, and I'll tell you why it's taken me so long to launch it. But 2016, I was in LA for an event, and it was 7:00 in the morning, and I was sitting in my hotel room. I was like, I haven't done any research on a makeup artist. You know, I don't know who's here. Sephora's closed, MAC is closed. I didn't have any options. And I was like, if there were an app where someone could come to me and do my makeup. And that's literally how I thought of it. And I went home and did some research and found that there were a few people in the space at the time. But now, you know, on demand mobile services is so popular now. But they're still
Get to know Tony Stubbs. He's an amazing fitness, health, and wellness coach and founder of the Total Transformation Fitness Movement. You can watch Tony star in season 3 of OWN's hit reality series, Ready to Love. Good. I know you're watching yourself on TV like the rest of the world as we watch season 3 of Ready to Love. How exciting is this for you?
Oh, it is. It's exciting. I'm just very grateful to, you know, just to have the opportunity, because I mean, being on the OWN network, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. So I'm just grateful.
I can imagine. And it seems like you have great camaraderie with the cast. Fans are excited to get to know you this season. We already know a few things about you. We know you're passport ready. We know you're a good listener. And we know that you're a ladies' man who gives great foot rubs. Tell me about your experience with the cast and meeting the show's host, Nephew Tommy.
Oh man, the experience was, like I said, just another blessing, just to have the opportunity just to, you know, meet 9 different successful men and 10 different ladies, and for us all to be in a bubble together, and we're pretty much seeing each other every single day, morning, noon, and night. And just to have that, I think that's why we have that camaraderie and just according with each other, because we had no choice but to be around each other. And we all said to ourselves, we're not going to be like how with all this drama, well, from what I'm seeing now, there was some drama going on, because you have to remember everybody was in like different sections at times because there were so many cameras, and it's very interesting because they have edited out so much footage of what was actually going on during those different little segments that they keep showing. So, and Nephew Tommy also. I mean, he's Nephew Tommy. He's funny, you know, Mr. Smooth, you know, and he just being on the show. I mean, I'm just still just overwhelmed from the whole experience of just overall now just seeing it and seeing what they're doing with the show. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful to be on the show.
So tell me about yourself. What made you take the chance and apply to be on the show? Where were you at when you took that step?
Well, I was, just going, I've been doing a lot of, self, personal development. And I finally said to myself, I catered to a time where I said, I feel like I'm ready to take that next step of, really putting myself out there and being vulnerable of, possibly ready to love somebody, because I know my focus was so much on my career and what I was doing before this time, playing football, and I was just really focused on that. So that was one of the main reasons why I wasn't focused on getting married or anything like that, because I was traveling everywhere, just from a faithful standpoint, but I wasn't out here like trying to trick with everybody and all that, but just understanding that I knew with me that I was not going to be 100% into the relationship. So it made no sense to me, nor for me to waste whoever I was going to possibly be with at that time, and waste their time. So that's where I was with that point. But now I'm ready to see if I
are really ready to love. Okay.
Yeah.
A couple things that I like, your energy. You know, it's in
Thank you.
every angle. Every time they catch you, you're in like good spirits. You're excited. You have all this energy. You're like moving around. You're entertaining people. And so I think that, in my eyes, it seems like you're a fan favorite because obviously the ladies are checking you out. You know, but then you also, even though it's competitive, I feel like the guys were cool with you though. You know, it wasn't like, I don't like this guy. It seems like everybody was getting along with everybody.
Yes, the guys, like, maybe because, you know, the mindset and where we are and, you know, what we understood what the process was, and at the same time with the guys, it was just, I don't know, it was different. It wasn't like we was looking at each other like, you know, like, okay, hating on another man. It was just like, you know, you're another successful black man that's on here possibly looking for love, and we all respected each other from that standpoint. And I think that's why we didn't really have no issues with the guys when it came to this process. So.
And that shows through. It shows through. You can tell. You know, I mean, I've watched every season, but I mean, and I can see the differences. But for the most part, I think that's what one of the things I like is the camaraderie. You know, how you all build as brothers. You know, but still competitive though.
Yes.
So, is there anything that fans will learn about you this season that you can tell?
Let's see. They're gonna, you know, they're seeing the fun side of me. But you're also going to get a chance to, you know, possibly see the vulnerable side and, you know, just me just sharing my story of why I have the energy and why I choose to be the way I am. So, I think hopefully we'll see. Like I said, each week, I don't know what they're going to put up. So when you think they're going to put up one thing,
new to you too.
Yes. So I'm watching every single week, just like everybody else. So
and then
we'll see, but hopefully they show it.
And you're still doing a weekly cast screening, so you all are planning to do that for the rest of the season?
Yes, that is the goal.
That's the goal. Okay.
Yes.
Well, since you're no stranger to network television, do you have any aspirations in television or film acting?
I do. I you know, will just see where, you know, this could possibly take me from, you know, the acting side to the modeling side. Yeah, I'll do voiceovers. You know, whatever the opportunity is. I mean, I will, you know, as long as I'm, you know, I'm doing it with integrity and, you know, if it's the right thing and a good fit for me, I'm open to, you know, seeing where this takes me. So.
Well, this is a great start, I tell you that. Now, I learned that you play professional football for the Florida Firecats, Arena 2, let's be clear. What inspired your interest in athletics?
Oh man, ever since I was a child, this sports has always been in my life. You know, my dad, you know, he was in karate. He was black belt, 6th degree black belt, so was involved with that. And, you know, just seeing, you know, Michael Jordan when you were young and all that, you know, just being inspired by some of the greats. And I just started playing sports from baseball to volleyball. And I've always just been active. And I believe that's another reason why I have the energy that I do, because I've just always been active throughout my entire life. So it just didn't start up a few years ago. This has just been since pretty much when I was born. Yeah.
She don't Chundria, I don't Chundria, he don't Chundria, go, go. She don't Chundria, I don't Chundria, they don't Chundria, go, go. It's a Chundria Show, yo, it's a Chundria, go, go, go Chundria, Chundria.